Thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you. And, you know, I love going around and speaking, and I love traveling to different areas. In the summertime, I travel around different parts of the country, which is always an honor for me to represent and to be able to give back and to help people become their very best. And today I'm going to share some things with you that I know they worked for me, and I'm very hopeful that they're going to work for you too. So I'm going to share some different insights, what it's like to be at the Olympic Training Center, what it's like to be an elite level athlete, and the dedication that it takes to do so. I've been very, very blessed to be a world champion, a Guinness World Record holder, a fifth degree black belt in jiu-jitsu and what they call catch wrestling. That's why I have these bad ears. Let's see. I'm inducted into 7 Halls of Fame, and I've been all over the world as an athlete. But having said that, I have to tell you something. I am absolutely nothing special, and I truly mean this. And as I get into this, I think you'll understand why I say this. Accomplishments are one thing, but I am absolutely nothing special. I thank Jesus Christ for giving me some talent, and then for giving me coaches that could help develop that. Because without these great coaches, I never would have learned what I needed to learn to utilize the talent that I had. So my goal today is to share some tips with you, some things, again, that have worked for me. And again, I hope and believe. There's a difference between hoping and believing. Do you understand what that means? When you say hope, right? When you have hope in something, there's a little bit of doubt because you're depending on someone else to do something in combination with you. But when you believe, you are 100% resolved. See, I can't be 100% resolved because you have to do it. I can't do it for you. Nobody can. We could coach you. We can help you. We could do things to move you along the path, but in the end, only you can decide where you're going. And that's my first question. By the way, if you want, I do a thing on the news, Fox 40, WICZ. I'd be honored if you'd look that up. I do a Monday motivation for them. It's on Sunday nights at 10, but then it's on throughout their website all week. And you can binge watch Billy if you want to. They're all on their website. There's my website. You're welcome to go there too. And first thing I'm going to ask you is, are you willing to do? Are you willing to do what it takes to get what you want out of this life that you have? Because every day is an opportunity. And if you're not willing to do it, you are going to get stuck. And there's 3 groups of people I'm talking to today. One group of you already has a path figured out. You know where you want to be, and you are moving accordingly, and you are doing it very, very well. Congratulations. Another group that I'm talking to doesn't quite have this figured out yet, and that's okay too. You're young, you're investigating life, and you're moving. But I'm going to promise you something. No matter what you've been taught, you cannot be great at everything. Sorry. When people tell you you could be anything that you want, that is not true. Sorry. It just isn't true. Look, you have certain talent traits. And you have to find what you're good at based on that God-given talent, and then you go develop it. But you can't be anything you want. Look, I learned this when I was at the Olympic Training Center. Let me ask you a question. Do I look like an Olympic swimmer? Nope. Do I look like an NBA basketball player? Nope. Do I look like an NFL lineman? Nope. Do I look like a gymnast? Nope. And the answer is, no matter how hard I try to be at an elite level, it's not going to happen for me. It's not going to happen. I'm 5'8", and I'm 220 pounds. Gymnasts are 5'8", but they're 130 because they got to leap all over the place. Let me ask you this. Can an NFL lineman do what a gymnast does? No. You cannot be anything you want, but you can be something great. I promise you that. There is something inside every single one of you. You, and a whole lot here. Everybody here can be great at something. But you have to be willing to do what it takes. So, let me just give you a little bit about my daily routine. Even today, I still train 3 times a day. I'm up at 4:30 in the morning for my first workout of the day. Then I go home, I train a second time. Actually, my apologies. During the school, I'm getting ready for summer. But during the school year, I'm up at 4:30, I train my first workout. Then I take a little bit of a break, have something to eat, then I train again. I've already worked out twice before people even get to school. Most of you aren't even up yet, and I've already worked out 2 times. Then I'll go work my job, and it's not even really a job for me. I love doing what I do. Thank the Lord, I don't need the money. I do it because I love to be here. I love teaching. I love spending the time with you. Every day is a blessing for me. Every day is an opportunity for me. But then I'll go home and I train a third time. Now, I can promise you this, and I've got this later on in my PowerPoints, but since I'm talking about it now, I'm going to get to it. How many people here have heard of motivation? Okay, motivation is a great thing, but let me tell you what motivation is, and this is why it's not going to work forever. Motivation is an emotion, and no one laughs or cries forever, and I promise you, sooner or later, getting up at 4:30 in the morning is going to be extremely difficult, and you're not going to want to do it. But when you overcome the desire to sleep in and you make yourself take that next step, that's when you know you are well on your way to becoming the best you can be. I guarantee it. Why? Because most other people won't do it. So when I ask you the question, are you willing to do what you need to do to become your very best? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to do that? Now, you have to answer that. I don't expect you to raise your hand. I don't want any peer pressure. I just want you to go home and look deep inside your heart. Look way down deep inside your medulla oblongata, my brothers and sisters, and ask yourself, am I willing to do it? If you are, great things will come. I promise you that. As a matter of fact, let me give you another quick one. Success versus excellence. How many people think they want to be successful? Go ahead. Let me tell you what, you're wasting your time. You are wasting your time chasing around excellence. Listen to me. By the way, I'm known for doing these strongman things. Would you like me to do some of this stuff today? Yes. Would you like me to rip a license plate? I got 2 people that said yes. You think I'm going to go up there and bleed for 2 people saying yes? Do you want me to rip a license plate for you? Yes. Okay. How about a horseshoe? I'll bend a horseshoe for you. Yeah. Okay, you don't have to yell at me, brother, but all right. So, guys, look. Listen, and then I promise. One more tip, and I'll go up and I'll do something. But listen to me. This is what success is. Success is the simple meeting of an objective. Are you hearing me back there? Success is the simple meeting of an objective. The problem with success is it's always at the mercy of the variables by which we measure it. So all I have to do is adjust the variables and everybody becomes successful. Let me give you an example. What if I told you, everybody in this room, you take my course and I promise you, you will be able to slam dunk a basketball. I promise you, you could do it. So you sign up for my course. I tell you what, you can slam dunk a basketball in 5 minutes after my course. Here's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to change the variable in the equation, and I'm going to drop the net from 10 feet down to 3 feet. And you know what? Everybody slam dunks a basketball. But you know something? You still didn't do anything good. Yeah, you were successful because the idea was to slam dunk a basketball, but what did you accomplish? Far below what you're capable of. That's why I'm telling you, forget success. Instead, you want to be a champion? You chase after excellence. Excellence is the best you can be. It has no other variables. There's one thing. It's the best you can be through an optimal course of action. If you do that and you're willing to pay the price to get that done, everybody in this room can be great at something. Everybody can be. But you got to figure out where your talent lies. And then you have to be willing to do what others won't. And I'm not talking about once or twice. I'm talking about over and over and over. And that's what we call discipline. Discipline beats motivation. Motivation is cool, but it's not going to last. Discipline is the desire to move on even when you don't want to. That's what creates champions. Discipline. Shoot for excellence, you won't even have to worry about success. I promise you. Success will chase you if you're excellent. Oh, I promised you I would do something. So I'm going to put some chalk on my hands, okay? Because, you know, when I talk, believe it or not, I actually get, I get a little nervous about this. I want to do a good job. I care. I'll talk about some things in just a minute. But I did promise in this order that I would do a license plate first. So let me put some chalk on my hands. I'll get up on the stage so everybody can see it. Because when I did it for the middle school, they started yelling, "We can't see." So I get on the stage. Hang on. So anybody know what weightlifting chalk is? Yeah, weightlifting chalk takes the moisture out of your hands so you don't slide around. And that's one of the keys to doing like these strongman things is you got to get rid of the moisture on your hands, otherwise things slide around. It's a thing. So let me get actually, you know what? Let me get the stage here. You're going to have to count down for me too. You got to go 3, 2, 1. Can you do that? Yes, sir. I hear sir, yes sir. What are we in the Marines now? Are you ready? Hang on a second. Okay, so, by the way, here's one of the questions I get. Where do I get the license plates? License plates come from the county clerk. So the license plates come from the county clerk. They're illegal to have, actually. So I have to get permission from the county clerk to be able to rip these things. So they're all real, and a license plate actually is metal covered by aluminum. So on 3, you guys ready? On 3, are you ready? Okay, you guys go ahead. 3, 2, 1. I wasn't ready. I'm kidding, that's a bad joke. Okay, ready? Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you. Now, as long as I'm up here, would you like to see me do one more? Then I'll come down, talk some more, then I'll come up. Okay, show me your hands. I can rip a full deck. Not yet, you ham and eggers. Who wants? I'm going to rip either a deck of cards. By the way, hey, can I just get your attention real quick? So I'm very close to signing a contract, 4 contracts with Guinness World Records. And the contracts are all about ripping decks of cards. That's why I'm practicing these things. So one of them is to tear 2 decks, one deck on top of another deck. And I want to be the first to be able to do that in such and such a time. But anyway, I'm going to rip 1 deck of cards for you today, and I promise you I will do it in less than 2 seconds, probably less than 1. So I'll rip the deck of cards first. Is that okay with everybody? Now, you guys have to bear with me. See, it still has the seal on it. Okay, still has a seal. Still see the cellophane. Now, this is embarrassing because it actually takes me longer to open up the deck of cards than it actually does to rip them. You see what I mean? Hang on. Don't you judge me. This is not easy. This is not easy. Hang on. Actually, you got to... Okay, it's almost there. We go. All right. See, you thought I was kidding. I promise. By the way, I will pick everything up. My mess here, I promise I will pick everything up. Okay. Okay, you guys ready? You guys count. 3. Ready? Well, no, start the count now. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Please. So guys, one thing I have to tell you, okay? Please don't try these things. Please don't try these things at home. First of all, I don't think you're going to be able to do it right away. Second of all, it's going to cut your hands up, okay? The cards are going to cut your hands. It's going to take you a while to get the hands developed to take that much punishment from tearing them. License plates will cut you. I've had stitches, I've had infections from the cuts that have been created by dirty license plates. So you see me doing these things, please don't try it. If you want to when you get a little older and you want me to show you, I'd be happy to show you some things, okay? All right, so I want to share something with you that is it's one of the most important messages, probably one of the most important messages that I could give to you. Where you start out is not where you end up, okay? And by the way, remember I was talking about the 3 groups? I think I only talked about 2. The first group is you know your path. Hey, I want to encourage you to keep moving on it. The second group is you don't know where you are yet. I'm going to try to encourage you to find that path. The third group is, and I'm saying this with the greatest love in the world, okay? This is not a criticism, but it's real talk. It's real talk. In my own way, I love you. Some of you already have a culture, and it sucks. You've got to reboot and change the way you're doing things. If you're going to become the best you can be, you've got to figure out what it is you want to do and make your life better. And I'm probably talking to you 3 right there. If you want to get better, then you listen to what I'm telling you. If you don't, then you can keep going on. Anyway, so where you start is not where you end up. So let me give you an example. When I was a kid, my dad died when I was a little boy, and I was actually born premature. I was born something like 4 pounds, something like that. We didn't have any heat in the house when I was like 5th, 6th grade. We didn't even have any heat in the house. So we didn't have hot water. All we had was cold water. So what would happen is, and this is, you ever go into the pool and you put your foot in the water and you try to figure out the temperature? Do you know when I was in like 5th grade, I never did that. I never did that. I would turn on the shower. After I got done working out, I would turn on the shower. It didn't matter how cold it was. I went in and took a shower. Why didn't I test the water? I already knew what I was going to get. I didn't have a plan B or a plan C or a plan D. I knew only one path. That's why I didn't have to check the water. I didn't have to check it. But I grew up in conditions that oftentimes were very poor. But if I looked then and I were able to see where I am now, I would have never back then thought that I'd be on international TV, would be called up to go on. I'm on Japanese TV tonight, actually. What's tonight? Tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm actually on Japanese TV. So they called me up, said, we'd like to interview you. They're putting me on a show called Unbelievable. So I never would have thought back then that I'd be where I am today. And that's my point to you. Where you are right now, if you're in a good place, hey, keep rolling, keep moving forward. But if you're in a bad place, what I need you to do is see through the eyes of faith. I need to see not where you are right now, but where you could be. Now, thinking is the first step. The truth is, thinking doesn't change much. It does change something. But without behavior, all you have is a fantasy. You have to behave the right way. You have to live the right way. So, to me, training 3 times a day is my lifestyle. It's now become a habit. And I'm telling you this, your habits will determine the outcomes. You develop great habits, you got great things coming. But if you develop bad habits, guess where you're going? It's all a matter of behavior. Now, thinking can change behavior, but this is what almost nobody knows. I learned this when I was at the Olympic Training Center. Thinking changes behavior, but you know what? Behavior changes thinking. So if you're depressed, listen, I get depressed. How many people get anxious? I get anxious all the time. All the time I'm fighting with these things, getting up and talking in front of people. I'm afraid that when I get up there, I'm not going to be able to rip the license plate sometimes. So here's my trick. I change the picture in my head. And then I talk out loud to myself. I don't know if you noticed that, but as you were counting, I shut my eyes. And when you're counting, I'm not listening to you count. I'm timing it. But you know what I'm seeing in my head? I'm seeing me rip the license plate. I'm seeing me rip the cards. I'm seeing it. And I don't know if you noticed it, but I'm also saying it to myself. Rip, tear, rip. Why? Because when you say it out loud, it's 40 times more powerful than just thinking it. It's 40 times more powerful. So what I'm telling you is if you don't like where you are now, start talking to yourself the right way. And then start behaving the right way, and your life will change. If you like where you are, take it. Keep moving. Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? Guys, you all have the potential to do some great things. But you're going to have to behave and challenge yourselves. Now, I think I've only got a few more minutes, so let me go through. See, I could talk to you all day long. So listen. This is another one of the things that you absolutely have to figure out. You have to know who you are. If you don't know who you are, and people, the sooner you find this out, the better off you're going to be. See, for me, I know who I am, and the reason this is so important, because this will help you put into categories everything that you do in life. See, look, number 1, I know who I am. I'm a child of God. Number 2, I am an athlete. So everything I do gets compartmentalized. Look, I don't smoke. Why? Not going to make me a better athlete. I walk away from it. That's not me. I don't go out until 3 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because if I go out till 3 o'clock in the morning, that's going to make my training suffer the next day. That doesn't fit in with who I am. You have to figure out who you are so that you can start asking yourself, does this fit in with my lifestyle? How many people here want to do something great? So bottom line, if you want to do something great, your lifestyle has to match your ambition. Your lifestyle will have to match your ambition. If it doesn't, you're going to get stuck. You're not going to get where you want to be because you're going in 2 different directions. That's why understanding who you are and what you want to become is so incredibly important. You must understand, everybody here has dreams. Now listen, let me tell you very quickly the difference between a fantasy and a dream. Thanks, Trent. Thank you. A fantasy will never come true. That's for Disney. That's for Disney. Look, we can draw cartoons, and we can have orange elephants and pink elephants and with wings and fly. It's not going to happen. That's a fantasy. But a dream does come true. A dream is where you have the potential to make it happen. And how is that going to happen? By itself? No, because if you don't behave the right way, your dream reverts back to a fantasy. Behavior is what this is all about. You want to be a champion, you got to practice. You got to pay the price that other people won't pay. Let me ask you a question. How many people here are willing to do what they have to do? Go ahead, put your hands up. How many people are willing to do what they need to do to become the best they can be? You are the ones I'm talking to right now. You are the ones I'm talking to. If you are willing to do this, and there's some others out there that want to, but they're shy and they want to put their hands up. I got you. I'm talking to you too. You have the potential, but you got to go get it done. Now, I promised you a horseshoe. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take off. Then you guys go to your next activity. So I have, yeah. Guys, so here's a 1/4-inch steel horseshoe. Okay. Now, what I have to do, I have to give you a little qualification here, because if I do this the wrong way, which some of my students already know, it rips my pants. Okay. So what I have to do is I'm going to take pieces of leather. It takes so much torque to bend a horseshoe that I'm going to wrap it up with some leather. I'll go on the stage, and then I'm going to put another piece of leather here, because if I don't put it here, it's going to slice right through my pants. And then I go home, and my wife says, "Did you bend another horseshoe?" And then we have to have a discussion. It's not good. So give me a second here. So you guys see what I'm doing now? I'm just bending. I'm wrapping this leather around the horseshoe, because again, if I don't do it, they will cut right into my hands. And I really don't feel like going to the doctor for stitches. So we'll wrap this up, and then you're going to laugh at me, and that's okay, because I laugh at me too. Okay. Now what some people do is they take these things and they wrap them up before they actually do this. And there's a couple guys out there like me that are crazy enough to do these things. And then they will rubber band the leather. But I found that if I do that, people say, "Is the horseshoe real?" So this way you could see what I'm doing. So now I'm going to bend the horseshoe 2 different ways. I'm going to start it in the back of the leg, bend it, then I'm going to bring it back to the front. That's where I'm going to have to take a break and put a piece of leather there. Now I got to roll my jacket around so that my jacket doesn't rip. Okay. This is the leather, so we don't. This is the anti-pant ripping leather. There we go. Yeah. Thank you. I didn't rip the pants. We're good. We're good. Yes. Guys, I think it's time to head on to the next activity. So listen, God bless you. I love you all. Thank you.